And Joe, Steve and Owen were watching all that unfold with me. Steve, let's start with that Liverpool group then. Do you like it or is it horrible?
No, I think it's fine, to be honest. I think it's intriguing because of the experience and the history of all the clubs involved. But I think if you look at where those respective teams finished in the league, I know Atletico Madrid topped the group, of course, and won La Liga last year. But you know, Liverpool have met Porto over the last few years and have never been a threat to them, really. AC Milan finished down the league in Serie A. So I think all the English teams will qualify. I've got no problem with that. You're always going to meet one team, whether it was in Pot A or Pot B, deciding on where you finished in the league, whether, you know, because we know Chelsea topped we're in Group A. But I think Liverpool should qualify. I don't think there's any fear, really, for the team.
Atletico winning the league last season as well. And they knocked Liverpool out the season before last, Joe, in the round of 16. So another challenge for Klopp to try and break down that Simeone defensive system.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I agree with Macca in this group. I think on paper, it looks impressive because of the stature of the clubs. But I think Atletico Madrid, we watched them a few times last year and I felt that they're a tired team. They've had financial problems. They're looking to get rid of Saul on loan. So I don't think they'll be even as strong as they were last year. I think Liverpool will be very, very happy with that.
Suarez will be back at Anfield, of course, and that'll be for the first time since that 4-0 defeat, the famous win there at Anfield. He'll be looking to put things right in that game.
Well, you know, I'm not 100% with the boys there. I think that Liverpool got a tough draw. I still think they're the best team in that group, but I think Atletico, for me, are one of the dark horses to win this outside of the English teams and PSG. AC Milan have a great young team, so I think that's as difficult a draw as Liverpool probably could have got. I still think they're the best team in it, and they're one of the favourites, but that is a tough group because all those teams on the day could pose a threat.
Those Milan games, though, Steve, for the fans, they're going to be mouth-watering, aren't they? They're going to have to channel that energy from
I mean, it's
a
brilliant group. I mean, I agree with Owen. You know, the group in itself is fantastic, isn't it? When you speak the names AC Milan, we know what they can bring going to the San Siro. Porto, where the final was held last year, we know what it offers. The games are going to be excellent. They're hard teams to beat, but this is what the Champions League is about. You have to come in, you have to play these sides. The fact that they only have to travel, you know, they're quite easy journeys around Europe. I don't think that should worry Liverpool. And I think sometimes when you play in the Champions League and you get, you know, teams from Moldova going to Zenit and Petersburg, teams that you'd expect to win, sometimes it's just as exciting going to an AC Milan, going to a Porto, going to an Atletico Madrid. And they're wonderful places to visit, so the Liverpool fans will be very happy. Wonderful cities to go to, full of history. So I think most Liverpool fans will be will really relish the fact that they can travel around Europe now. Yeah,
because it looks like a hard group on paper, but you think that the fact that they have such big occasions to look forward to, because the trip to San Siro is always special.
Yeah, they're historic teams, and what Macca was saying, like, it's a great one for the fans, isn't it?
Because the trip to San Siro is always special.
Yeah, they're historic teams, and what Macca was saying, like, it's a great one for the fans, isn't it? Great trips away, history, and the bars as well. I was going to throw in. But, yeah, I think it's... we watched Porto last year and we watched Atletico Madrid last year. I don't think there'd be any problems. Haven't seen too much of AC Milan. Owen tells me they're a good young side, so that I'm really interested because with AC Milan, they've been in the doldrums for so many years, haven't they? And certainly when I was younger, they was the club to look at.
Such a history.
I know, such a history. I want to see them come back into the back end of this competition. So I'm looking forward to watching AC Milan.
Which two teams do you think will qualify from that one, Owen?
Well, I think certainly Liverpool and Atletico. But I think AC Milan, I think they'll finish third. They've got some good young players. They really impressed at Old Trafford last season. But still think Liverpool will finish top, and I think Atletico will finish second.
Well, let's talk then about group...
Yeah. I'm not going to go on Virgil van Dijk. If they change it and then all of a sudden you see, like when we used to play, you know, you put yourself on somebody to find out, am I going to get man-marked today by Des Walker? So I go and stand on the other guy, then Des Walker go, hey, I'll switch. You know you're going to be being marked by Des Walker. But for me, I'll go and stand on him. And then if that's the case and they swap, then you know. But Virgil van Dijk needs this game. Needs this game, the amount of time he's been out, he needs this test. And if he comes through this test against a Romelu Lukaku that's playing like he's playing, then we know that Virgil van Dijk is back. But it's a great matchup because I do want to see them up against each other because there's so much that both of them can take away from it if they can come out on top.
Yeah, and you pointed out that fact that Lukaku seems serene. It was in the interview there. Virgil van Dijk also a very serene
He's the
player.
coolest man in football. I've never seen
Troy
him
Deeney
sweat.
says he smells nice.
He smells gorgeous. I've not seen him sweat.
I don't think he'll sweat about getting up against Chelsea and Lukaku. I think he'll feel happy that he can handle it. And we know that Liverpool defend best when they defend as a team. It's very rare that you see them exposed man v man. That's when things become problematic. They try to cut out that ball. They try to put the opposition under pressure so they can't have the time to feed Lukaku. That ball through the middle is a ball that there's a lot of time that he scored against Arsenal. There's a lot of time for the midfielder to find him with a straight line. There's no one to cut out that ball. Liverpool will be a lot more aware to that and attuned to that. But there will be situations, when the ball comes into box or set pieces, where it's going to be it's going to be great. I'm so looking forward to this game. I can't wait. I'm going to be there.
The same with like Reece James and Andy Robertson, if Andy's fit. Trent Alexander with Marco Alonso.
Although Tsimikas has done well.
Tsimikas has done very, very well. But I could not believe how high Reece James and Marco Alonso were. And I don't think that there's no way they're going to be playing like that against Liverpool, because that is going to be instant trouble. So, again, the whole matchup, Tuchel, who I just adore, because I just think that he's so intense in what he's doing, and the team are so well drilled, that coming up against Liverpool, a Klopp side, that he himself has said, we're just easing in, We're not trying to play the greatest football, we're just going to ease in and build into the season. And this game, it's not come too early. This is a fantastic matchup.
Yeah, looking forward to this one. Romelu Lukaku's just over your shoulder. I imagine his position is one that you two would be more comfortable than playing, rather than as part of that front three. Have you played in a front three?
No, I've not played in a front three. It was front two, maybe, and then one where Dennis was just playing off of you, but it was still kind of like a 4-4-2, but Dennis could just go where he wanted. But when you're looking at Liverpool...
Did you not play behind Matt Le Tissier once?
Oh, gosh, yeah. For England, yeah. It was a nightmare. Against Romania, I was playing on the left of it was called a Christmas tree then. Alan Shearer was in the middle, Matt Le Tissier was on the right, and I was on the left, and me and Matt Le Tissier were chasing left backs and right backs back. I remember one time we looked across at each other and went... But it's not something that I'd like to do, Kels, because I want to be up there.
Yeah.
I don't want to be chasing back and doing stuff. I don't want that responsibility.
Have you done it?
I did it early on at Ipswich Town. I was asked to play, like, as you said there, the right of a three, and it was horrible. The fullbacks used to just run that way. So
they know, didn't they? They know he's a striker. He doesn't want to go there.
So you chase them back for the first couple, and then after a while you'd go, you know what, and you'd end up dropping off. So you'd end up playing more so like right midfield, because it'd be like, well, I'm not going to go right up on him because he's going to keep running me that way. So it was one of them where you had to do it for the team, but I hated absolutely every minute of it.
And you go in the players' lounge and just complain to everybody. Like, why didn't you play me there?
But look, as far as Liverpool's front three is concerned, whichever of the three that Jurgen Klopp decides to go for in this game, and the understanding that they all have with each other, including the Jota, who only joined last year. Yeah, but
like you do feel that had we been in different times, maybe the pandemic, they may have lost one of those, whether it was Mane or Salah, Firmino. But like the fact is, they're still together, and why would you want them to play any other way? Salah's been involved in the Golden Boot since he's been here. Mane as well been involved in a couple of times. Firmino, I believe, he's one of my favourites, Kels, as you know, should be maybe chipping in with a bit more with more goals. But like when you throw Jota in there as well, it's just like it's perfect, because his movement going into the box and whether it's one-on-one going in or movement to get the header like we saw in the game just now is fantastic. So it's all for me about Liverpool's midfield and how they get the ball to them and how they stop Chelsea and get the ball to them, because we know what Liverpool can do when they're breaking. They're absolutely frightening. And you have to say, when Jota, they signed Jota for that amount of money, obviously a few eyebrows were raised in terms of the fee. But you remember, he started off his career at Liverpool, he was unbelievable. And then he had that injury, which kind of derailed him a little bit. But he's come back this season, he's been ultra sharp. And certainly, as you said there, right, in and around the boxes, his timing to get on the end of things, like, he just seems to arrive at the right time. But when you throw in Mane and Salah, Mane, who maybe by his standards had a bit of a down season last year, he started off on fire. And then Mo Salah, I think he needs two more to get him, obviously, the 100 club. He's been fantastic ever since he got to Liverpool. So they are so dangerous. And as you said there, if Reece James and certainly Alonso are going to fly forward and you leave the space for Mane and Salah, you're asking for trouble.
So what do they do then to counteract that? Do they just... Because that's part of their sort of defensive plan, isn't it? Is for them to get forward, because
Yes.
then they're in the opponent's half.
Well, you look at it,